All right. Good morning. Welcome to class. Thanks for coming. Ooh. Sorry, there's like a worm thing in my she shed. I think it's anyway. There's like gaps around, and of course there's animals that come in and out. So who knows? It's kind of creepy. There's a little worm in here. Anyway, maybe it came for some chair yoga, so that's all good. All right, we will start in our mountain pose. Start in our mountain pose, and our feet will be flat on the floor. You can take a soft gaze or close your eyes, whatever is comfortable. And we're going to start looking from the inside. We're going to start looking at our position and our posture. So notice the feet. And you can wiggle the toes. You can lift the toes off the floor and lower them back down. So notice where you feel pressure in the feet when you lift the toes. Like, so I feel a lot more pressure in the balls of the feet. You can lift and lower the toes. And lifting the toes also kind of engages or lifts that arch in the foot. And then notice the heels. Notice the outside edge of each foot. And you can even kind of start to rock the foot towards the arch, and then away towards the outer edge, and then back in, rocking kind of side to side. And then see if you can set the foot down, each foot down, so that it's evenly distributed pressure in each foot. We'll start to move up the calf to the knee. And just notice, how everything feels. Moving up the thigh to the hips. So we'll notice the balance in our hips, in our pelvis. So are we, tilted forward? Are we tilted back? Is one seat bone, can you feel your seat bones? Is one seat bone pressing down harder than the other? And we're going to do a little experiment here. So we're not actually moving, we're not lifting, raising the arms or anything like that, but we're going to lengthen the left side of the body. So just kind of lift that, like you're sitting up taller on the left side. And see if that notices the pressure in your seat bones. And then come back to neutral. And then lift the right side. And then lower. Good. Then we'll bring one hand to the low belly, just below the belly button, or even, my thumb is touching the belly button, so you can have the thumb there and the fingers below. And then one hand to the low back or the sacrum. And then notice, the tilt of your pelvis here. And see if you can start to even that out. So both hands are parallel. Kind of moving both straight up and down. And for me, that means kind of tilting backwards, moving the pelvis a little bit back. And while we're here, let's notice the breath with the hand that's on the low belly. Inhale, the belly fills. Exhale, the hand comes in. And while we're here, we'll do a little bit of pranayama. So if the hand on your low back is uncomfortable, being kind of bent behind you, you can bring both hands to the belly, the low belly. We're going to focus on the movement of our hands as we inhale and exhale. And you can even exaggerate it a little bit on the exhale, maybe squeeze the belly in. And we're gonna do a box breath. So the box breath, it's you can even just imagine it as a square. And you can imagine the inhale being 4 counts, and you can even draw it with your nose if you want or with your eyes. The inhale, you would bring it up, and then we're going to hold for a count of 4. Maybe that's when you draw it to the side. And then the exhale is a count of 4, and you bring your nose down or your eyes down, and then you hold again for 4. So it's inhale for 4, hold your breath for 4, exhale for 4, and then hold your breath again. So we'll do a couple rounds of that. And if you become anxious during this practice, just leave it. You can come back to a normal breath or catch up again. So we'll take a couple breaths here as we normally would. So we'll inhale for the count of 4, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4. Oh, wait, I think hold, 2, 3, 4, inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4. So go on your own, because obviously I can't be trusted to count. We'll take a few of these rounds on our own, and then we'll meet back up. So even focus on the breath, or just focus on your square. And then finish the round that you're on and come back to a natural breath. You can rest your hands in your lap, and then notice how you feel. Notice how the pranayama makes you feel. It's supposed to be a very calming, and anytime we can kind of focus on our breath, that's going to bring us into a calmer state. You know, if you're focusing on counting and inhaling and exhaling and holding, chances are you can't focus on the external, the things that are going on other places. And it's a fairly simple pranayama. So we'll focus again on that spine where the pelvis is, and then we're growing up the spine nice and tall out of that. So we're going to imagine that our sacrum is pressed against the wall behind us, and then the back of our head and our shoulders are also against that wall. So it's very, very tall spine. The chin is slightly in. And we'll take a moment to set an intention or say an affirmation for this class. An intention could be to be present, or to figure something out, or whatever that could be. And an affirmation could be something in positive tense, like you already possess it. So I am tolerant, I am kind, I'm worthy of love, I'm helpful, whatever that may be. So take a moment to say that to yourself. And then we'll allow our eyes to open. So we're going to do a little bit of eye yoga. So I'm going to come up closer. And so we're going to sit very tall, and we're going to look up towards the ceiling. So our head stays still. We don't move our head. We'll look up towards the ceiling, look to the right, look down, look to the left. So we're going to do a couple circles like that. So the head doesn't move. Okay, and then we'll switch the direction of our eye circles here. So we look up, to the left, down, and to the right. And normally, you know, we would rub our hands together and place our hands over our eyes, but we're not doing that. So maybe just close your eyes and notice how that feels after you've done a couple. Okay, close your eyes. Take a couple breaths. And then we'll open the eyes again. So we're gonna put our right thumb up in the air. So thumbs up for me here, arm extended. So we're not turning our head, but you're going to bring your thumb out to the right as far as you can. Now my arm disappeared. So we're looking at our thumb with the corner of our eye without straining. And then bring it back to center. And then bring it to the left a little bit across the chest. So this is just a shoulder stretch here, not much for the eyes. And then back to center. Bring it up. And then bring it down. So bring it as far as you can and still see it. And then bring it back to center. So we'll do the other side. We'll thumb up, bring it as far as you can out to the side and still see it without straining your eyes. And then back to center. So a little shoulder stretch as we bring it to across the body. And I think I turned my head. I can't even follow my own directions. Bring it back to center, and then we'll bring it up. And then back to center, and bring it down. Good. I'll release that, take some shoulder rolls. And we're gonna draw a circle with our nose in front of us. So it can be a small circle to start with. I'm gonna move back here. So a small circle in the room in front of you with your nose. And then you can start to get bigger with your circle. And then switch the direction of your circle. I kind of like to spiral in and spiral out. Ew, that worm isn't dead. It's alive. I am not a fan of worms or frogs. They creep me out. I'm okay with spiders, just not worms or frogs. So yeah, I know they're good. Oh, now there's a spider in here. Great. I have to let some chickens in, I think. All right, sitting up nice and tall again. We're gonna draw the chin in towards the chest and then bring it back out. Bring it in. So not towards the chest, sorry, just bring it back. So like you want to create double chins. Good, and we'll leave that. Take any movements that you need. I always like to take some shoulder rolls in between everything. And we're going to interlace the fingers, push the palms away. Okay, from here, you can just move with your own natural range of motion. If you have shoulder impingement or anything like that. Just go as far as you can. Don't worry about, you know, bringing them up as high as someone else. So we're going to lift and lower. And when we lower, we're going to start to round the spine. We're going to lift and arch. So our low back is arched, our chest is opening, and then we'll lower the hands and round the back. Lift. So keep going, inhaling, coming up, exhaling and rounding. And the next time we all come back up, we will take a side bend. So you're pushing your palms up towards the ceiling as high as you can, and we're gonna take a gentle side bend. So we're not worried about going super deep here because we don't want to fall out of our chairs. And then come back to center and side bend to the other side. So this is a little bit of an ab workout too, because you're using your core to stay stable. Other side. So you're pushing down in the opposite seat bone. So if I'm bent to the right, my left seat bone is weighted. And then go back to the other side. You might have to take some effort to weight that opposite seat bone. And then come back to center. We'll lower the arms, take some shoulder rolls, shake the arms out. We'll bring our left hand out to the left, and we'll take some wrist rolls as we bring it up and over. So you can use your opposite hand on your hip or in your lap to kind of support you, and wrist roll right back down. Switching sides. And then we'll sweep both arms up, inhaling as we go. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart, and then focus on the pelvis. So the chest will stay lifted to meet the thumbs, but the belly draws in. So it takes the arch out of the low back. Wrist roll. Really move the fingers. Pretend you're a flamenco dancer. Really elegant fingers here. Or that you're unscrewing a light bulb with very fancy little jazz hands. Switching sides. Sweep both arms up. Chest is lifted, and then the back is a little bit arched as we bring the hands in towards the chest. The chest stays lifted, but then we draw the arch out of the low back by pulling in the belly. So we'll sweep the arms up again. We'll push the ceiling away, and we'll fold on the exhale. Inhale, halfway lift, reaching out in front. And exhale, fold. Sweep both arms up, come all the way up. Exhale, hands to the heart. And then tilting that pelvis back again. Hugging the belly in. So it's constantly pulling the belly in on that exhale. Wrist roll. Switching sides. Sweep both arms up. Push the ceiling away like you're going to pop out the roof here, and exhale and fold. Sweep both arms up for halfway lift. Belly is engaged. Exhale and fold. Sweep both arms up. Open the arms to a T as we Exhale and twist to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Tilt that pelvis to more neutral. Wrist roll. You can even hold at the top if you want to increase that stretch. Snap, crackle, pop as your wrist is rolling. I'm assuming mine is. And back on down. Both arms up, sweeping out wide and high. Push the ceiling away. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale again and fold. Sweep both arms up. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, center. And we're going to reach up tall. Really reach, and then exhale, lift the right knee up. Before we grab it, we're going to lift it up, hold it in tight, and now we'll hold the knee. You can pull the right knee in towards the chest, lifting the chest. If you need some space in the front here, pull it out to the side. We'll take some ankle rolls on this side. We're going to extend the right leg, and then we'll lower it down. Inhaling up nice and tall again, the arms raised. We're going to lift the left knee in towards the chest. Give it a squeeze. Then we'll give it a squeeze. Hold it in. We're keeping the chest lifted. So right on the seat bones. The seat bones are pointed down. There's probably a little bit more pressure in the left seat bone currently. Take some ankle rolls on this side. Change directions. And then we're going to extend the leg, foot is flexed, and lower it down. Come back to your neutral pelvis. Inhale the arms up if they have gone back down. And then we'll exhale the hands to the heart. Our last time through. Wrist roll. Switching sides. Sweep both arms up. Push the ceiling away, grow even taller through the spine as you exhale and fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale back to center. Exhale, lift that right knee up into the air and then give it a squeeze. We'll then extend the right leg, flex the foot, and lower the heel down to the floor. You can either stay up nice and tall, or you can bring your hands to the left thigh and hinge forward. The more your foot is flexed and the more you're hinging forward, the more intense the stretch is. If you need to back off, if it's too much, sit up more, maybe point the toe a little bit, but play around with how much stretch you want back there. And then we'll bring the right leg back. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, lift the left knee up and then give it a squeeze. Pull it in towards the chest, keeping everything lifted. Extend the left leg, foot is flexed, and then lower the heel down to the floor. You can place your hands on your left thigh, sit up tall, or hinge forward. Again, flexing that left foot so you can feel the stretch. Take a few breaths here on this side. And then we'll bring the left foot back. We'll inhale the arms up. Exhale, bring the thumbs to the heart. So our hands are in prayer. And then we're going to remove the middle 3 fingers from each other. So we're opening up into a lotus mudra. We're going to take 5 breaths here. The thumb and the pinky are touching, the heels of the hands are touching, and the index, middle, and ring fingers are pulled back from each other. Release the mudra, place your hands in your lap. We're going to pick up the right leg and we're going to hold on to the right shin just below the kneecap. If that's hard, grab a strap or like a tie or a rope or a sash for your curtains, whatever you want to grab. Probably take a dish towel even, actually. So we're going to hold that knee up a little bit and we're going to circle it. You can use your left hand too if you want, or you can place that in your lap. And we're going to circle. So I'm circling clockwise, sorry. Doesn't really matter. We're just, as long as we're switching when and doing both directions. So we're circling the knee, keeping the chest still lifted and the core engaged. So we're not like leaning back. The whole body's not moving with the knee, just the leg. Oh, and obviously that arm. And then we're going to switch directions. And you can go as big or small of a circle as you want. You might find that it's easier to do a smaller circle. And then we'll bring our hips over to the right. So our right knee we just had lifted. We're going to bring the right leg back. So turn to the side so you can see. So you can be up on the toes. Some people, that gives you a nice arch stretch. Sometimes people putting the top of their foot down will create a cramp. So whatever you're looking for. I mean, imagine you're probably not looking for a cramp, but you know, whatever position works good for you. The more upright you are, or the more neutral your pelvis is, the more stretch you're going to get on that hip flexor. So the hip flexor, we want it strong to lift our legs, but we also want it to be a little bit more open, because we're sitting so much, it's always contracted. It's always in a shortened state. We want to open that, lengthen it from time to time. Well, I'm speaking for myself in the always sitting part. I'm sitting a lot more now than I normally was. And then we'll come back to center, bring that right leg back, and we'll do the left side now. So lifting the left knee, little circle, so any which way you want to be able to grab it. And we're circling now counterclockwise. You can even do it without lifting it. Just make sure you're not, well, you're lifting it, but not with your hand. Just make sure you're not leaning back. And then switch direction. So now clockwise for me on this one. Oop. Then we'll bring that left leg back now. And if the pelvis is neutral, I'm going to go to the side so you can see. Kind of have to scooch to the left, bring that left leg back. The more neutral your pelvis is, more upright you are, the more stretch you have. Or if your leg is pointed straight down. If your leg is more forward, you're not going to get as much of a stretch. But do what you can. Do what kind of stretch feels beneficial to you. Just because my leg is back doesn't mean it's going to work for you. You might be here and feel a really nice stretch. Also get a stretch in that quad too. And then we'll bring the leg forward. Come back to our mountain pose. Check in. See how the movement and the pranayama that we've done already, how that feels in the body. So we're going to take our right hand and place it on our left oblique area here. And we're going to reach down towards the floor on the left and then lean to the right. Reach down towards the floor on the left, keeping that right seat bone grounded. So we're not lifting up, we're not falling out of the chair, reaching down. And again, now keeping the left seat bone grounded, tipping the shoulders towards the right. We'll do one more. Reach down towards the left. Come upright, lean to the right. And then back to center. We'll switch sides. So left hand to the right oblique, right hand towards the floor. You're going to reach down towards the right, then up, and then to the left. And I just noticed like I was shifting, like twisting as well. Try not to twist, try to stay even. Come back to center, lean to the right. And sometimes you'll feel the obliques firing. Sometimes you don't. And then one more. Reach down. And back up and tilt to the left. Good. We're going to take our right hand, place it on our left knee or left thigh. And we're pressing down with our right hand and we're lifting up on the left thigh. So you're pressing down with your hand and up with your thigh, making a resistance to each other. And you'll notice you can feel it in your core. You can place one hand on your belly, your left hand on your belly. Next thing you know, I'll be saying, rub your belly, pat your head. Yeah, kind of feels that way, doesn't it? Okay, release. Now place your left hand on your right thigh, pressing down with your left hand and lift up with your right thigh. You can bring your right hand to your abdomen. So we're pressing, we're creating resistance, engagement in the core. Full breaths. And then lower that down. We're going to do two more on each side. So right hand to the left thigh, lift up as you push down. Switch. Left hand, right thigh. Last one on each side. Right hand, left thigh. Switch. Left hand, right thigh. And lower. We're going to circle the pelvis. So tilt the pelvis forward, to the right, to the back, to the left, to the front, to the right. So the upper body doesn't move a whole lot. We're trying to be independent of our upper body. So just the hips moving. Your spine kind of picks up the slack here. My shoulders kind of move a little bit, but not leaning out of the chair. You can also feel where there might be more pressure when you're tipping to the right, more pressure in that right seat bone. You might lose the pressure in both seat bones as you tip to the back, etc. Okay, and then we're going to switch directions. Tilt to the right, to the front, to the left, to the back. All right, and then come back to your mountain pose. Now we'll circle the whole upper body here. Okay, and then switch directions. Funny, I always switch in the same position. I always switch when I'm kind of in the back. Good, and then come back to your mountain pose. We'll start to do our rocking to stand or shifting to stand. If you need to rock, you can. Start to lift up and come back down. So we're pressing in through the heels and lowering back down. And our heels, so our feet are not behind us here. They're underneath the knees. The slower it goes, the harder it is. And then we'll lift all the way up. Good, you can march it out. We'll move behind the chair. If you have two chairs, one in front of you, one behind, or beside you for balance. And we will stand in a mountain pose behind the chair. So I'm going to face you just so you can see. So my feet are pressing down and I'm feeling all the corners of my feet. So both sides of the heel, both sides of the big toe mound and the pinky toe mound of the ball of the foot. And I'm pulling my mat apart, my legs right to left or left, out to each side. You're pulling, your quads are engaged, and you can even bend your knees a little bit and still notice that you can have that engagement even with a bent knee. So we're not like locking out the knees. So inhale here, we'll sweep the arms up. And then we'll exhale, bring the hands to the heart. So we're lifting the pelvis. Imagine a big belt buckle. We're lifting it up as we bring the hands to the heart. Inhale the arms up. And then we're going to exhale, place the hands on the back of the chair, take a big step back with each foot, and come into a downward facing dog. And you can bend your knees here. We really want, at this point in the practice, to have a really long back, a really big long line from the hips to the hands. So we're not rainbows, we're a long line. Okay, I'm not worried about the straightness of the legs at this point. We're going to inhale, look at the chair. Exhale, step the right foot forward. So we're in a crescent lunge here. So I'm up on the ball of my left foot, and my left thigh is reaching up towards the ceiling. So it's a straight leg. My right knee is bent. So the wider your stance, the more your right leg may be bent. So pick a distance for you. We just don't want the right knee beyond the foot, okay? So we'll inhale the arms up here, one or both, you know, whatever you need for balance as I fall over. And then exhale, place the hands on the back of the chair, step that right foot back to meet the left in your down dog. You know, as you come into down dog and as you're kind of spending some time here, you might start to play around with straightening the knees, straightening the legs, but it's, you know, up to you and how you're feeling. We'll inhale, look at the chair. Exhale, step the left foot forward. I'm up on the ball of my right foot now. We'll inhale, one or both hands up. And since I chatted a little bit on the other side, I'm gonna chat a little bit over here. So the right leg is engaged, pressing that right thigh up towards the ceiling. Left one is bent. Take another inhale here. Exhale, place the hands on the chair. Step the left foot back to meet the right. Come into your downward facing dog. Inhale, look at the chair. Exhale, step both feet forward. Back into your mountain pose. You're pulling the chair, the floor apart. And then we're gonna come up onto the balls of the feet, lifting the chest as if you were a marionette with strings. You're pulling the chest up. And then exhale, lower the heels. Inhale, come back to your mountain pose. The arms sweep up. And exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Good. We'll do that again. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, place the hands on the back of the chair. Take a big step back. Both feet. Back in our down dog. We're going to take a couple breaths here. Your next inhale, you look at the chair. Exhale, step the right foot forward as far as you can. Left leg is engaged. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, place the hands. Step the right foot back to meet the left. Inhale, look at the chair. Exhale, step the left foot forward. Right leg is engaged. Arms sweep up on the inhale. Exhale, place the hands. Step the left foot back to meet the right. Inhale, look at the chair. Exhale, step forward, both feet. In your mountain pose, inhale, come up onto the balls of the feet. Ooh, chest is lifted. Exhale, lower the heels. Back in your mountain pose, pulling the floor apart. Inhale, the arms up. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Okay, we're gonna take a little bit of a step back from the chair. So maybe there's like 1.5 feet here or so between the back of the chair and myself. I'm going to start on my left side. So I'm gonna shift my weight over to the right foot. I'm gonna take the left foot back. And I'm going to start to hinge forward. So as I hinge forward, maybe my left leg comes off the floor. Maybe I tap my chest down on the back of the chair. Maybe I just hold onto the back of the chair. So you can find, if you have a space on the back of your chair to place your hands, you can do that. Or in the front. But the left leg is lifted, and you can take a slight bend to that right leg. Slight little micro bend. We're lifting the left leg. And then we'll lower the left leg down. Come back up to stand. Come back to your mountain pose. Okay. We're going to inhale here. Exhale. Exhale, bring that right foot back. And then standing up tall, we're going to hinge forward as the right leg comes off the ground. You can reach for the back of the chair. Your hands on the seat of the chair. The right leg is lifted. The left leg can be a little micro bend in it. And then start to come back up to stand. Okay. We're going to do that again. Shift your weight to the right. Left leg comes behind you. And tilt forward on the exhale. Left leg is lifted. You can even look back at your left foot and see that your left toe, your toes on your left foot are facing down, not out to the left. Whole different pose. If you want to try a little balance challenge, maybe release one of the hands. Maybe release both hands. And then we'll come all the way back up to stand. Good, march it out. We'll now take our weight to the left foot. Our right leg will come behind us. And then we can start to tilt forward. Right leg lifting off the floor. Notice that the right toes are facing down. So however you can see them without toppling over, I almost did. Bring your hands to the back of the chair, the seat of the chair. You can start to lift one arm if that works. Maybe come up to under the fingertips of the other hand. Woo. Maybe lift both. Whoop. And try to come out of it slow. I just kind of fell out of it. We'll come all the way back up to stand. Good. We'll bring the chair back where we had it, if you moved it. And come around the front of the chair. We'll do our couple breaths of squat or any variation. You can sit, squeeze your glutes. You can take legs wide for goddess. And you can also go up and down. You don't actually have to hold the position. If you're going up and down, when you come up, squeeze your glutes together. You could be a goddess, chair with the legs touching, chair with the feet hip width apart. So any of those variations, whatever you like. I personally like to go with goddess. I feel like that's what I need the most. So legs are wide. If you're in goddess, pick your variation, your arm variation. And I want you to think a moment here of something that you're grateful for. I really enjoyed it when we did it in class, in the live, in-person classes, because you got to hear what everybody was grateful for. And it was really nice. We'll take another big inhale here. And then exhale. Make sure your chair is there and sit down. All right. We'll take some wrist rolls here briefly. And then we're going to take the fingertips, palm facing the camera. Pull the fingertips back towards you. Switch hands, pull the other fingertips back towards you. And then shake it out. So we'll do some tapping here with the sides of the hands. So the karate chop part of the hands first, we'll tap. And I wanted to share, so one of the teachers that I've worked for at Sangha, she posted on her Instagram this thing about goal setting or motivation and whatnot during this time. And she said something about doing a to-do list of only 3 things. And I'm like, oh my God, my to-do list, when I do them, it starts to get kind of crazy. I put like 1,400 things on it. I was like, okay, I'll try that. So we take the heels of the hands, we'll tap. And so of course I'm not a direction follower by nature. So I did my to-do list of 3 things each day. And I've been doing this for about 4 days now. And of course, then I also made a big long list. But the big long list, I like put in a different part of my notebook so I didn't focus on it. But I'm feeling really good because I've actually been checking off those 3 things that I do each day. The bottoms of the thumbs, we'll tap there. And it actually kind of motivated me to do other things that weren't on my list. It just, it's gotten me off the couch, which is, I'm sure a lot of people have this problem where it's just kind of like the more time you spend on the couch, the more time you want to spend on the couch. I have the same problem with sugar. If I have sugar, the more sugar I have, the more sugar I want. So take the palm, and we're going to take the ring side of your knuckles and punch into your palm. So and it kind of has the reverse effect. So the more little things I did on my to-do list, the more other things I wanted to do. So yesterday I checked off my 3 things. I felt super good about it. Then after that, I started like cleaning my kitchen, and even it inspired me to have like a little dance party with my niece in my living room. And it was funny. It was like almost like 10 o'clock, I think, when we finally like shut the music off and stopped dancing. So it was kind of out of my normal. It felt really good. We'll switch the other palm out, and then other the other this part, knuckles, fist. So, and I actually slept better, which is, you know, we all know, obviously, the more you move around and get some energy out, you have endorphins, and you sleep better at night. It took me a little while to fall asleep, not as long as it has been. It took me a little while. Then after that, I actually slept really well. Oh my God. Oh, sorry. I thought the worm had moved. It freaked me out. He's still here. Backs of the hands. It's our little quirks and stuff, right? Our goofy stuff that we do that keeps it interesting. I'm not really sure there's any end to the list of goofy things that I do. Like Emma at first, when I was doing it, I actually did the dance party solo for quite a while. Of course, Jared was my captive audience. He's stuck in the living room with me. And he loves the music, and he's kind of, him and I are about the same age. So I think it's music that we, he probably was listening to like with his mom or whatever years ago, when we were both teenagers. Switch. And so anyway, he likes anything with like boom, boom, and pow sounds, And so Emma was actually in her room, and she was watching something on her phone or whatever. She actually came out to see what all the ruckus was and to watch me and laugh at me while I danced in the living room. Then I sucked her in and made her dance too. We did the cha-cha slide. We did the get up. We did, oh my God, it was funny. It was great. Okay, interlace the fingers and tap. It almost made me miss Zumba. I was like, oh my God, what did I do? Leaving Zumba behind. But, I don't have to pay a monthly fee to dance in my living room. So it's all good. And I don't necessarily have to teach everybody everything either, or instruct or lead. Hold, switch all the fingers by one. So if it feels weird, you're doing it right. And tap again. Definitely can feel the difference between not tapping. So in this class is pretty much the only time that I do the tapping things with the hand. Sometimes I'll do it in our yin class or whatever, but I don't do it on my own. And because I'm not teaching as many chair classes, I've noticed that my hands are definitely stiffer between classes, especially since, we have class on Thursday and not again until Tuesday. So I'm not doing any hand exercises from, Thursday at 11 o'clock until, Tuesday at 10 o'clock. And then we'll do the thumb and forefinger. I do have a place where I've put this. So if anybody else is interested and they don't remember how to do this, I can post it again, a video of the hand exercises. I believe you can also watch these hand exercises on LV Chair Yoga. It's actually where I got it from. Switch. But since doing this, the hands feel so much better. So we're going to take our hands, and they should feel kind of livened up. They should be the prana coursing through them, or life force. And we're going to place them on a body part or body parts that is challenging to you today. Okay, actually my seat bones. So we're sending love to those spots. We're placing our hands on where we want our energy to flow to. You know, it's kind of like the getting a shot or something and looking away. If you bring your awareness somewhere else, or if you're doing something physically difficult to distract yourself, you know, you can kind of bust through the sensation because you're not really focusing on it. Now, we're trying to do the opposite. We're actually trying to focus on those body parts to send energy, send our awareness. Take just a couple more breaths here. And then we'll slowly remove our hands. We're going to join in that box breath one more time. We're going to do a couple more rounds of that box breath. Now you can stay with the 4 count for inhale, for hold, for exhale, for hold. Or you can increase or decrease, whatever you want. Try to have them equal though. So you'll start, you'll inhale for your set time, and then hold for your set time. Exhale for your set time, and then hold for your set time. I always forget what to say after exhale. Oy. So we'll do a couple rounds. So finish the round that you're on, and then we'll walk our seat bones back into the chair and just check in again and notice how you feel. Now that box breath pranayama, you can do it anytime, anywhere. It's not one of those noisy, like Brahmari or whatever, the hummingbird or the humming bee breath. You can hide it. You can, you know, when and if we ever go out in public again, you can do it. You can do it while you're cooking, while people are in the house. You know, it's not a very exaggerated pranayama, so you can get away with doing it anytime. It will help you calm, focus, and kind of level out, kind of grounding. So I notice how it feels after the pranayama, after this practice today. We will now place our hands over our heart. You can either place them one on top of the other over your actual heart, or you can bring your hands to heart center in prayer. And I want to thank you for practicing with me this morning and showing up. That indeed is the hardest part. May we all feel loved. May we all feel grateful. May we all feel connected. And may we all have the strength, courage, and balance to overcome all the obstacles before us. From my heart to your heart, peace. Thank you so much, everyone. And I'm going to unmute and stop recording.